All right, hello members, and today here we are on number 4 of Trepidation, and we're taking a look at the sprigging process or the planting process of the paspalum grass. This grass comes in a sprig form and in sod form, not in a seed form. The sprig, in the past you've heard me talk about how we had to get the old Bermuda grass to use up all its carbohydrates. Well, that's exactly what I'm holding in my hand, is just a bunch of carbohydrates inside of this little plant here. And so it goes through the machine cuts it in or slices it in, and that gives you your sprig to soil contact. From there, we turn on the irrigation system. The irrigation system for the first 5 days must run basically around the clock. We start the program at 7 a.m. and it doesn't end until around 7 p.m. or a little bit after. And the first 5 days of a sprig's life are the most vulnerable and the most important of the whole time, because if this sprig gets dry, that's it, and we'd have to resprig the entire area. So myself and my 2 assistants have been running around the new golf course, constantly just increasing heads, increasing run times on heads over here, decreasing over here, because it's a very fine balancing act of overly wet and not wet enough. Once the sprig starts to shoot down roots, we can then come back in a couple of days later and start the process of just our agronomic practices of mowing and rolling and slicing. Currently on the driving range, number 1 and number 8, where it's about 3.5 weeks old at the time of this video, we have already mowed those areas twice. We have sliced them an additional once, and we have also rolled them every day. The rolling is very important. The more of this sprig that we have touching the ground, the more successful we'll be when it comes to grow in. The slicing aspect is very important because, as you can see, some of these things get very long, and we need to cut them in order to produce a new plant and to get that plant to really tighten up and create a canopy. We do a very similar process on the greens, where on the putting green, the chipping green, we're mowing those 3 to 4 days a week, and we're rolling 2 days a week, and then we're top dressing every Friday. Those 2 greens are 5 weeks today, and they are progressing very fast and growing in at a great rate. Number 1, 2, 6, and 8 are 2 weeks old today, and they are right in line with where we saw the putting green and chipping green. Overall, we feel very confident in our grow-in programs, the fertilizers that we're using, both liquid and granular, and ultimately giving a huge shout out to our Addison Reserve team, who's been working very hard during a hot month. With new grass, it's very important that we do a lot of things dry. So we're trying to make sure that we keep our staff hydrated, because we're working them very hard in a hot environment. But everything's progressing well. We have a few more holes left to build. We're finishing up the construction on number 9. That's the last green we had to build. Number 5, we had a few bunkers left to build and some drainage work. But after the end of this week, we're all done with all that, and it's time just to get the grass on the ground and get it grown in and get everybody back out here playing.